No, dead. They're all dead.
Mamma mia!
The following views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the producers, hosts, and or guests of the Bitter Marks podcast. We assume no responsibility for any errors or omissions in the content provided.
Listener discretion is advised.
Bitter Marks! Bitter Marks! What is up, smooth babies? Welcome to Bitter Marks. It's your favorite non-wrestling wrestling podcast. Come to you every single Friday morning at bittermarks.com or wherever you get your podcast from. That is in audio form. Or in video form on our YouTube channel. Just head on over to YouTube, type in Bitter Marks Podcast. Our channel pops up. Subscribe, do all that good stuff. And you can watch all our past videos of episodes and check out our new ones every Tuesday night. You can also join us if you feel like it, Tuesday nights live at 9:05. That's p.m. and that's Central Standard Time on our YouTube page. There's a YouTube chat in there. Just hop on in, do some Star Trek references if you feel like it. Just come have some fun and talk some trash with us. We'd love to have you. I am doing this podcast as French Stewart today. That's the second reference. First, for anyone who's listening currently. And you don't need to know what those references mean. But anyway, I'm one of your hosts. My name is Sasha, and I'm joined by my dear friend. He's sad. He's feeling it in his heart. And I think we need to pump it up. Because SummerSlam is coming. No, SummerSlam just passed. Survivor Series is coming. You got to get pumped for Survivor Series, right? Right? It's Peewee.
What's up? Yeah, this podcast is just becoming too much for me to bear. I think we saw this coming. The moment that I took the reins on the technical side, I think the clock started ticking for as soon as we started going that route. What's going on?
What do you mean? As a live podcast, as a podcast in general, what are you talking about? How you feeling?
No, the logistics of just the YouTube stuff. Putting me in charge of this stuff was a huge mistake. I can barely, my computer can handle it, but I can't handle the computer that is handling the YouTube, and it's causing more and more problems on a weekly basis.
That's okay. Well, besides your computer issues, how's life treating you? Are you doing okay?
I have a cold, apparently. I started coughing in the last hour, and I also drove for about 9 hours today. So yeah, I'm fantastic. I'm in a bad mood today. Well, then, it should be an interesting show. I'm not in a great mood.
Well, listen, I'm also not in a great mood. I don't have a lot of notes, and my goal is to be done in half an hour. So let's, I guess, bring in the punctual prince of podcasting from parts unknown Illinois. Hopefully, he's going to bring some positivity as well. It's producer Tony.
What's up, everybody? I'm the fucking ray of sunshine, I guess. Apparently, you guys are someone shitting your cereal. So I'm here to bring all the good vibes. I got Scott Steiner behind me, you know.
I would love to have cereal, whether it has shit in it or not. I haven't had cereal in years.
I would love to have Scott Steiner behind me. Not like, okay, maybe that sounded bad, but interesting.
And that's how you get a new clip for the beginning of the show, everybody. How's life treating you, producer Tony?
Things are good. You know, had lunch with our dear friend Giuseppe from Hollywood today before he takes off for Italia. So it was good to see him. Good to catch up. Say goodbye.
We got to give him a new nickname, I think.
Yeah, what's like the fancy part of Italy? I don't even know. Like,
should we come up with like some generic Italian name for him? Like, I don't know,
like a Italian Joe. Oh yeah, good call. Giuseppe from Milan. Giuseppe from
right. All we need to say is Giuseppe. Yeah, everything else is a given.
Yeah, we should just call him Luigi or something.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah, let's go with that.
We actually do have a new country that listened to us this week. That's our 23rd country, gentlemen. The Michael Jordan of countries, if you will. Welcome to the fold, Netherlands, my third least favorite country in the world. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate your business.
Favorite?
Yeah. I have some issues stemming back to when I was a child, and they used to crush the Serbian and Yugoslavian soccer teams' dreams of advancing into the World Cup. And so that's how hatred is born in this world. It's through corrupt sports.
Now,
basically.
Is the Netherlands the Dutch, or is Denmark the Dutch? I can never remember.
No, it's the Dutch. Denmark is Danish.
That's it.
Iceland is green.
Germany.
Greenland is ice.
Germany is Deutsch.
Ice.
And Bellwood Bishop is douche. We're going hard after Bellwood Bishop this week, and I don't know why. We have 2 new shirts in our pro wrestling tees. Guys, I did this just out of sheer boredom, and I always wanted a shirt that said Bishop sucks eggs. And you can now get it at our pro wrestling tees store, along with a new color scheme with our Bittermarks logo from the King of Art, Justin Tuttle. 2 new shirts.
I like that red shirt. Did he make that, or did you just edit the colors?
No, I was going through this old email with a bunch of logos on it, and I saw that one with the red, and I was like, oh, that's great. And recently I've been trying to purchase a nice gray shirt, and I just can't find one. So I was like, put it on gray. I don't know what else to put it on. We have green, we have yellow, we have gray already.
Look at this. Does the red on gray look good?
To me, sure.
Look it up.
You know me, I am setting trends left and right in the fashion world.
Who cares about that shirt? We have plenty of shirts that say Bittermarks. We didn't have a shirt that says Bishop sucks eggs on it. This is fantastic.
Yeah, and here's the thing. When I put this through on Pro Wrestling Tees, I wanted to make sure that the image would work, first of all.
Okay.
Because I wanted to make...
Oh, you made this.
Yeah,
that's the problem, because you don't know how to format.
Clearly he made it. It's just text.
Well, sure, but even then, having to do the correct formatting to send that in, was that the problem? Yeah, he's shaking his head vehemently. Yeah, that's the problem.
No, I wanted to make sure that it went through okay, because originally my plan was not to have a new Bittermarks logo shirt, but to just have 8 shirts with all of our friends' names saying sucks eggs. So Giuseppe sucks eggs, Putski sucks eggs. The Tuttles suck eggs. All of them. Same orange shirt, just everybody sucking eggs. And I was like, they're going to kick us off of Pro Wrestling Tees if I'm just doing all of this.
No, I think that's fine.
See. I just wanted to see if the Bishop one worked first, and it did. And by the way, we have the #1 selling T-shirt on ProWrestlingTees.com currently. We just defeated CM Punk and the Bullet Club T-shirts. We are. I'm getting rich $7 at a time. My phone just keeps ringing with the cash noise.
Now, with this shirt, I was surprised. Producer Tony did not know this reference.
No, this is what happened. Is you sent something in a text message like "good job" or something like that, and I had no reference to what the hell you guys were talking about. So I asked if I missed something, and then Sasha sent me the picture of was it Terry Funk? Is that what it was?
Yeah, wearing the Dusty Sucks Eggs shirt.
Yeah, he sent me that picture, and I still didn't get it until just now when you showed me the Bishop Sucks Eggs shirt. So now it makes sense.
Go back into your text messages. I think if you scroll up, you'll see the picture of the shirts.
Really?
I believe so. Maybe. Okay, that explains why you weren't. Okay, that I understand why you were lost now.
That makes a lot more sense.
So, Tony, did you know about the Dusty Sucks Eggs shirt prior? If you had seen the T-shirt that Sasha made, would you have understood the reference?
I think I've seen that before, so it would have clicked. I'm looking through my phone, and I see 2 pictures of Terry Funk.
And nothing
pictures.
above that.
There's nothing. No, there's nothing.
Okay.
Wow, Bishop makes a good point here. We need a Hattori Hanzo Sucks Eggnog shirt.
I like that. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, Sucks Eggnog.
Yeah, it's getting close
He probably
to that
meant
season.
it as a Bishop Sucks Eggnog shirt, but we're making a Hanzo Sucks Eggnog shirt.
Here's my text, Tony. I've got the Terry Funk picture, and then right above that is the shirts.
I don't know, man. I didn't get that down in parts.
Sasha can set you straight technical-wise. You have any technical problems, you just go straight to Sasha.
Right to me, fellas. I'm the IT guy for DCWA Inc.
Our chat is blowing up with T-shirt ideas.
Yeah, we need more designs, probably more than just text on a shirt. I think we need a Mr. Main Event School of Wrestling shirt. I think that would blow up. At least one was requested by Suave, and I think I would purchase one as well.
Okay, I like that.
So I think we're just headed straight back to the backyard. We're just going to make our backyard wrestling shirts. I know we've talked about this before, but we need to make this. Yeah,
Can
we
we
need
get
to
a
make it come
rip-
true.
Can we get a Rip Peewee shirt? Didn't we?
Yeah.
Didn't
Those,
who made those?
Now-
Was
those
it
are limited edition.
K-Wall or? Yeah.
Now
yeah.
to make it part of this show, it would have to be a rest in peace Peewee shirt now, right?
Please,
Yeah,
please.
it's
Rip would just be a slap in the face.
That's right.
Well, outside of that, I don't know what else is going on. Producer Tony, did you go to Megadeth? Did you go see Megadeth?
Yeah, I ended up going to a concert in 2021, and it was on a Thursday. So Sasha strung me along and ended up not going. So I went solo, which was not fun.
Oh.
But I bought the tickets like 2 years ago. Like it got rescheduled
2
like
years
3
ago.
times.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah,
And
man.
Here's the thing. It was on a Saturday.
Yep.
And then it was on a Friday. And then now it was on a Thursday. And that's what crushed me is the Thursday. Because I knew going out there where it was in Tinley Park, that's a hike on the way home.
Yeah.
How bad is that drive for you, Tony?
It's about 50 minutes with no traffic. So getting there was a little rough. But the concert was okay. Megadeth is probably lost their fastball. I'd probably never pay money to see them again.
Wow.
Who else played? Lamb of God? Were they good?
Lamb of God stole the show. They were excellent.
I believe it.
Yeah, they were great. Hatebreed was there, and Trivium. I don't know if you know who they are. They're not very good. I don't like them, but
I know the name, but
yeah.
Are they similar to Slytherin?
Yes, they're actually Slytherin all grown up.
Grown up, yeah, that's who they are. But it was like weird being at a concert because like I had a mask on, but like nobody else did, and like it was probably like 50% capacity because again it was on a fucking Thursday, right?
Yeah.
So
it was at 50% capacity because it was a Thursday, not because of COVID.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
I think so.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's an outdoor venue too, so I don't know how strict they are with that kind of stuff. But the weather was okay that night. I wish I would have gone, but I also wish it was on a weekend. I think that would have made the decision easier.
Yeah.
But that Thursday was a killer.
Rest up those garage sales on Friday.
I have to one more note. I was a little thirsty, and like I said, I was alone, so I figured I'd have an alcoholic beverage. Can you guess how much they charge for one beer?
I'm terrified. Yes, this is not a world I live in.
$12.
12 seems low. I'd take the over on 12.
It's over.
Wow.
Woo.
My
$14.75.
Yeah, my gut was 14.
Little over.
Wow.
13.75 for one beer. I couldn't believe it. I turned it down. I didn't have one.
Oh wow.
I was like, I can't pay these
like
prices.
That. I like
I can't pay these prices. Are you kidding me?
You know what's weird? Now that I don't drink, driving at night is like no problem, right? I'm not worried about it anymore. Whereas like when you're drinking, you're always like thinking that you have, like a cop's following you, your hands are on 10 and 2, you're always trying to do the right thing. And so now that I don't have that to think of, I become even more of a reckless driver. I'm like, because if I get pulled over, I'm not getting a DUI. What are they gonna give me a ticket?
You have no fear. You have no fear anymore.
I turn my lights off. I'm driving in the dark. I'm like, who cares?
Yeah, I get that too. It's night and day. Sasha and I are both sober, if you're unaware. But it's night and day. The lives that we live compared to the way we used to be when we were in our 20s.
Oh yeah,
it's totally different. Yeah, we threw caution to the wind back in the day, and we paid for it absolutely. But now we don't have any of those worries, and it's awesome.
So I did some open mics on Wednesday and Thursday evening, and that was the thought that I was having coming home both nights was just like how I used to, because, I'm getting home at like 10, something like that, 10:30, whatever time it is. And that was the thought that I was having. It was just like, wow, this is not a pressure-filled situation anymore. I had a good a good day on Thursday. That's the only reason I'm kind of happy I didn't go to Megadeth was I probably had my best open mic night period that day, where I felt like I could potentially make people laugh. How about that?
That's a big jump. That's a big confidence boost, I'm sure, for you.
It was. There was some really good comedians, and it was the first time that I actually felt like not like I'm as good as them. There are very, very good comedians, but just like watching them enough, you're kind of like seeing what other people do, and then you're like, oh yeah. And that was the first time I was like, yeah, I think I can do that, or at least attempt to do what they were doing. And so it was like a really good feeling on Thursday. I was riding high on that open mic for a couple of days. So,
hey, I got a question for you. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
So you've been prowling the open mic circuit for a couple weeks, maybe even months at this point.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make the jump to actually getting booked somewhere?
I think you have to be good. You have to be good.
Sure. That's a good question. Do you ask people to book you, or do people reach out to you?
You can. It depends. Like some people you send clips to. Some people who see you at open mics, they put on shows so you can talk to them. You know, if they have any guest spots available or whatever.
Some people
or
make the artwork for your T-shirts for your podcast.
Yeah, maybe you just a set of twins that run a comedy club. You know, something like that.
Well, they do open mics down there. I'm not good enough to get on one of their shows. I'm scared to go up at an open mic with those guys. I mean, they're gonna just tear me a new asshole over there and you don't want a new asshole when you're in the middle of Illinois, right? You have a long way to go home. You just want your regular asshole. You don't want the new one.
Hear this type of material that the twins are missing out on? This is
yeah, see? And this is why I don't get booked on a regular basis. By the way, I see 2 pictures on the left over here. If you're watching on the YouTube page, is that Cosmo Kramer? Who's that on the left?
Yeah, that's Kramer. We talked about him last week with Problem Child.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. I was very
with
confused.
the Texas tornado in Problem Child, right?
I thought maybe it was like some wrestler that I did not recognize, and I was thinking he looks like Kramer, only to find out. You should have put a swastika up there instead, I believe.
So, Peewee,
yeah,
I know you love the technical part of the show, so I'm just going to ask. The next row, we need to start that next row.
I got a lot of trouble.
Are you going vertical, or are you going?
Yeah, you going around?
Yeah, where are you going?
It was a big choice when I went from Gertner to whatever the French guy's name is. I didn't know whether to go to the left side of your picture, Tony, or to go on. They just continue filling up the right side. I don't know what the next step is. It's literally a Tuesday decision. Probably happen about 7:30 next week. So,
all right, just vibe it.
Stay tuned. Stay
just
tuned. It's one of the highlights of our show.
And eventually, we're gonna have to get a whole new set of pictures. Or it's gonna be like the Stanley Cup, where you gotta take all the old ones.
I'll need a second monitor just for the pictures, right?
There's no chance this podcast makes it till we get Stanley Cup level. I love that we have spent the first 21 minutes of this show without jumping into anything. This is exactly what this week's episode should be, as we are not prepared for anything. However, let's start things off with some death. How about that, guys?
Ooh, okay, lively.
Let's bring it up a little bit. We lost a comedy legend.
Yeah.
Art Matrano.
God damn it.
From Police Academy.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Lieutenant
as soon as you said comedy legend, I knew you were bringing this guy up. You sent me 2 pictures this week, and I...
Rest in peace. He was 2 weeks away from his 85th birthday. We talked about him before. He was Lieutenant Mauser on Police Academy. I found some interesting stuff about him. Like I said, we did talk a little bit about him, but he was born to a Turkish Jewish father and Greek Jewish mother. That is a rough hand to be dealt in life. Let me tell you, the Turks and the Greeks, woo, a lot of experience with both in my life. But this guy was also injured in 1989 working on his house. If you guys remember, he fell off a ladder, quadriplegic.
Yes. Yeah, I do remember that, yes.
And then he created like a Broadway show called Jews Don't Belong on Ladders, based on his experience climbing a ladder and falling off of it. He also sued Seth MacFarlane for making fun of him. Full life this man has.
I'm going to guess
is what I'm trying to
dead.
say. Yeah, dead. Definitely died of natural causes. How about that?
Well, he was 80, right? Yeah, of course.
He wasn't. Wasn't he a quadriplegic at 80 years old? I don't think he's out there, bungee jumping or something like that. You know what I mean?
That's pretty good. To last that long naturally after you couldn't walk before. I don't know. Lieutenant Mauser, rest in peace, my friend. Get the rest in peace Lieutenant Mauser shirts at our Pro Wrestling Tees store shortly. And then another guy died, Norm Macdonald. You guys familiar with this guy?
Love this guy.
It was a gut punch when I saw the news scroll past my Twitter. Sasha, are you back on Twitter? Did you get this news real time, or did you get it like secondhand?
I got this news from our dear friend SWK. He texted me, and it's sad immediately. Everybody obviously loves Norm Macdonald, like one of the funniest people. Recently, I watched Dirty Work.
Oh, nice.
And then even more recently, Giuseppe, our dear friend Luigi, aka Giuseppe, gave me all his DVDs, including Dirty Work, the DVDs. So now I have 2 copies of Dirty Work on DVD, which is great in case one wears out. But Norm Macdonald is great. I actually watched his latest Netflix stand-up, which was from a couple years ago, I think. But I watched it maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and I was like, man, he's still the man. Only 61 years old, fighting cancer quietly. I don't think a lot of people knew about it. I didn't know about it. Just sad all the way around.
Absolutely.
Favorite Norm Macdonald movie or TV role, or what do you think of when you think of Norm Macdonald?
I'm a
SNL.
Yeah, I'm a Saturday Night Live guy. His the Weekend Update stuff, and then specifically the Jeopardy stuff.
Turd
the Burt
Ferguson.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
The Burt Reynolds. I will always cherish his SNL stuff, specifically the Frank Stallone bit. He just kept going back to that, and it was just I don't know why, but I know he has better stuff, but that one, it was always my favorite.
I always have this weird, like, I don't know what you call it, but it's like, out of all the times that we could have been born, in all the decades and years, it's kind of cool that we got to be alive at the same time as a Norm Macdonald. It usually happens when people die. I go, wow, I got to live at the same time as this guy. And it was cool for him to be alive at the same time. But, like, I don't look back and go, Michelangelo, the artist, or was there an artist named Michelangelo, or just the turtle? I don't know. Like, I don't really care about other stuff. I'm just like, the stuff when I was alive is cool. Screw everybody else.
He was one in a million. He was unique. There will never be another Norm Macdonald.
Did you ever see him by any chance live? Do comedy or anything?
I wish.
Never got the chance. No.
Yeah, me neither. All right, well, rest in peace, Norm Macdonald. Look for the shirts at our Pro Wrestling Tees store. PWI 500 came out this week. How about that? And I'm not talking about the good one about this show. I'm talking about the PWI Pro Wrestling Illustrated Top 500 Wrestlers in the world or in the country, or I don't even know what it really is. Have you seen this, Peewee? Do you know who the top 10 is?
I have seen it, but I have no idea who placed where. Do you want me to, I know who number 1 is. I think that's it.
So number 1, Kenny Omega.
Right, that's the only one I knew.
Number 2, Roman Reigns. Makes sense.
It's we should specify this, Tony. I don't know if you know, but the PWI is done in kayfabe. So meaning that if you're top of the company, you should be ranked like, it's not based on wrestling ability. You know what I mean? It's based on how the company views you.
Number 3, I lost my place here, but it's Bobby Lashley.
Okay.
I also agree with
he
that.
was champ
Champion for a long time. Yeah, up until yesterday when he lost to Big E, which was a pretty big deal.
Putski in the chat. Is Colleen okay? Has she heard the news? Is she flying to wherever they're recording SmackDown to celebrate?
So last night, 5 minutes before Raw, I text Putski and I say, hey, Colleen might want to turn on Raw. Because earlier in the day, Big E tweeted that he was cashing in and he was going to win the title. And with everything that's been going on in AEW actually kind of beating Raw in the ratings last week, at least in the demo, it seems like they're trying to grab back some of that attention or whatever. And he ended up winning. Putski never returned my text last night. And about 5 minutes before we started this show, he's like, we just stopped celebrating.
Yeah, there you go.
So get some water for Colleen, get an IV. I know she's going to need all the assistance she can get. You guys probably partied very hard. And congratulations to Big E. Very cool. Does feel kind of forced. Feels kind of a weird thing, but also, like, Like, forget about that and screw the
I
politics
did kind of feel.
behind it. It's awesome.
I kind of felt bad for him in that because it was fairly obvious that this was just done as a retaliation to whatever AEW is doing, and they're just trying to get the views back. In my opinion, that's what was happening. So in that, his title reign is semi-tainted. But that said, I mean, he was more than deserving of it. It's not like it would, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't put it on a guy like Heath Slater when Heath Slater wasn't anything. You know what I mean? Like this, Big E was on the rise. He was Money in the Bank. He was. It made sense to put it on Big E. It just was a weird time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the Kofi Kingston thing was kind of like out of nowhere, and people got behind it, and it was
like a 6 month
organic.
build,
yeah, and this was like definitely seemed forced. But then it was like, forget about that stuff. It's like look, he's the champion. That's awesome.
Right, exactly.
Like, you got to get over that.
Totally agree.
Number 4, Drew McIntyre, which deserving. Interesting to see where he'll be next year because it seems like he's fallen off the face of the earth. He's feuding with Jinder Mahal, or at least he was last time I checked. Number 5, Kota Ibushi. Producer Tony, tell us your thoughts on Kota Ibushi. I'll keep going. Number 6, we have Jon Moxley.
I'm surprised.
I believe he was number 1.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was number 1 last year. And I'm with you. I thought he would have been maybe like a 3, somewhere around there. But number 7, Will Ospreay, who was the New Japan champ for a long time until he had to give it up because of injury, I want to say.
Let's go back to Kota first.
Or COVID.
Why was Kota so high?
I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know. I don't watch New Japan. So, like, him, even Will Ospreay in there, I don't know if that's deserving. Okay. And number 9, Shingo Takagi, I don't even know who that is. Like, I couldn't pick him out of a lineup, like not even in a racist way, just in a I have no clue who that is.
Shingo Takatsu used to be a closer for the White Sox, I think.
Okay, same guy. All right, that adds up.
Well, yeah, he's number 9 in the professional wrestling world. Number 8, another weird one, Finn Balor. I guess because he was NXT champion for a while.
That's probably it, yeah.
Still kind of felt weird to me, although I'm a big Finn Balor fan. Here's one that was really interesting. Number 10, Rich Swann, Impact Wrestling champion.
Oh, he was champion
for a long time. Yeah, I want to say maybe even 2-time champion during this time. Love Rich Swann. Just kind of a weird number 10, and I don't have a number 11, so I can't say who would go ahead of him. Maybe it's a Danhausen. Maybe it's a Michael Action Jackson. I don't know who it could be. Nick Gage, perhaps. But I was able to find what we care about, gentlemen. The bottom 10.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Okay, I'm in.
Number 491, you have Ryan Nemeth, who is the brother of Dolph Ziggler.
That's surprising.
He's in AEW.
Right. Gets a lot of TV time. Like, has stories built around him. Okay. Now, do you know the timeline that the voting was taking place for?
I know it is not like a January to
correct. Yeah, it's
December thing. I'm not sure. I feel like it's like June to June.
It's as in
June to May or whatever.
I don't even know if that's
like
true. I want to say it's like whatever.
Maybe it's like WrestleMania.
Happened, like the stuff that was shouting out to me is that Cardona's stuff. Cardona was in like the 300s, and like after his huge indie run, Cardona was one of the like top, at minimum, top 20 guys that was talked about this year in professional wrestling. If you're going from June to June, as in June 2020 to June 2021, Cardona's got to be higher than that, right?
Yeah, maybe it's further back.
It's got to be, right? This isn't me kissing Cardona's ass. This is just, I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Maybe it's like around WrestleMania time might make more sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's kind of like the like wrestling year is based off of WrestleMania or something like that.
Like, it's just a magazine. You don't have to go back that far. Like, get up to speed. It's not that difficult to put a list of 500 guys together in 3 months, let alone a year.
It takes a long time to print those little pieces of paper, buddy.
All right, then next week we'll hear the PWE 500. Get that list ready, Peewee. How about number 494, Swaggle?
Hey, there we go.
Swaggle Mania running wild.
He's on the board.
That's what I'm saying. He's on the list. What did he do Nothing against Swoggle, but he didn't do anything on the. He did like
He booked you.
right, but he was. I think he had a match in TNA, and that's it.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? Like one storyline.
I mean, he's done some stuff in Impact too. I don't know like where else he's been or whatever. I'm sure he made an appearance on a WWE show.
Close. Him and Ziggler's brother shouldn't be that close on the board.
You're saying they should be off the board completely?
No, I think Swoggle should be off the board, and I think the Ziggler brother should be a lot higher or lower.
Well, let me tell you about the couple other people who are behind Swoggle, and then we'll see if your mind has been changed. Hattori Hanzo brings up a good point here. No Walter, PWI is dead to me. Yeah, Walter probably could have been a better choice over a Rich Swann, even a Nick Aldis.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
I mean, this is a guy who is the champion for the entire year. 1,000 days this guy was champion. He can't get in the top 10 of wrestling. I get it. Not a lot of respect for the NWA, but still, I mean, he's a guy who's been around for a long time. Anyway, number 497, we have Mr. Iguana.
Fantastic.
Mr. Iguana. This guy's been wrestling for 12 years. He's 5'10", 150 pounds. A lot of people who are commenting on the Wrestling Database webpage were saying that he's, funny, but also quick and good, which I believe describes a lot of wrestling. It's like undersized people who are funny. But I want to read this sentence because I think this will make you love him, Peewee.
Okay.
Or possibly hate him. You have to let me know. Mr. Iguana quickly jumped to the main local luchas. I don't know what that means. Thanks to his style and high-flying maneuvers. In his barely second match in his career, once again, one of my Serbian cousins must have written this. In his barely second match in his career, he broke his nose and cut his eye when he botched an acai moonsault to the outside. 1 month later, he returned to the ring and became one of the most popular wrestlers in the city.
Cut his eye? What does that mean? Cut his eye? Not eyelid, not around the eye. He cut his eye.
Now, do iguanas have that weird lizard eye thing?
Yeah. I think they can lick their eyes. Can't iguanas lick their eyes?
I think they have four eyelids, they close this way and they close this way.
Potentially his eye has been cut since birth, and this guy just didn't realize it. Number 500, one of my favorites every year, Lulu Pencil.
Good for him.
Lulu Pencil. You guys want to predict what a Lulu Pencil's height and weight is?
I couldn't predict the gender of Lulu Pencil.
I will tell you this. It's the top 500 has men and women in it. So it is not a men's 500. At least I don't think. Because Lulu Pencil is a 5'1", 101-pound Japanese woman who's been wrestling for 2 years. Not only that, trained by producer Tony's favorite, Emi Sakura.
Wow.
That's number 500, and Swoggle just barely passed by. So what do you think of the PWI bottom 500 or whatever?
Oh, great. It's fantastic.
All right. Well, you guys want to talk a little wrestling, or you want to talk? You want to stay away from wrestling because we're at about 37 minutes. I think we got 20 more minutes left in us maximum here. Let's try and avoid wrestling.
Sure.
Updated WWE banned phrase list came out.
Ooh.
So a lot of stuff in here that makes sense. Blood, choke, belt, strap. That's been around for a long time. Diva. Obviously, they don't want the diva revolution happening.
Are you saying they can't say the word strap?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
What?
They have to say title.
Okay.
Belt is also on that list, I'm assuming.
Yeah, belt and strap are you cannot say them. Headshot.
Tony's mind is blown.
I don't understand that. Why can't they say the word belt?
Yeah, because that's what holds up your pants,
it's not a title belt. It's a championship. That's the...
Oh, eat shit, Vince.
You can't say... Is wrestling on this list?
You're not allowed to say eat or Vince. That's both on this list. You can say shit. What word?
Wrestling.
No, you cannot say wrestling.
That's on the list. There you go.
You cannot say wrestlers.
Can't say wrestlers. That's insane.
You cannot say kayfabe, which makes sense.
Yeah, there's a bunch on there that just makes sense.
Mofos. I just love that that's on the list.
Didn't John Morrison call like his fans mofos?
I don't know, but poor guy has to keep getting other things over.
What is? I saw that. What is
spinal injuries?
What's anti-diva a reference to?
I believe there was somebody who was called the anti-diva. Maybe like anti-diva's revolution or whatever. Someone who was like against the old diva people or something.
One person. You also cannot say CM Punk.
That's not on the list, actually. You can say CM Punk, according to this list. Spinal injuries, victim, violence, violent. You cannot say WWF.
Oh,
you cannot say.
How about this? How about hospital?
Not on this list.
Oh, it's back.
I know that was previously banned. So
medical
maybe.
Facility had replaced the word hospital for years.
Oh my God.
No wife beater. Curb stomp.
Wife beater. As in the clothes or like the person?
Isn't that like Seth Rollins' move, like the curb stomp though?
It was, and then they changed it to like the stepping on a turtle or who knows. He did some sort of Jesus gimmick, right? Any phrases that include the word push or being over.
Okay, that's fine.
You cannot say babyface, heel, job, jobber, strangle, kill, murder.
Okay, that I get. And I mean, I get the majority of these. The majority, even the ones that are like borderline, I still get because they're trying to make
Here's 3.
Go ahead.
Let me give you 3 because I want to know your opinion on these ones. Card.
As in like the wrestling card, the matches?
I would assume so. What's like the negative of saying card?
It's too inside baseball. Like it's like.
Is it?
Enough. They don't use the word wrestler. It's you know what I mean? It's not. They don't want to come. I don't think they want to come off as like a carnival. You know what I mean?
DQ.
That's true. I have no.
You can say disqualification.
Yes, that's what it is. Vince doesn't like abriviations. He just wants to say the whole word.
He doesn't want the carny
He's
talk.
a rest in peace guy. He's not a, the Undertaker doesn't say R.I.P. He says rest in peace.
Meanwhile, Matt Riddle's name has been changed to Ma because he doesn't want long names or whatever. And then the last one that's really the most interesting one on here, house show.
Yeah, it's too inside.
House show.
Yeah.
How's it inside though? Like
it downplays when you're trying to sell tickets to a house show.
Live event.
Right. You make it sound like a bigger event than house show. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
How about this for an exercise? You take that list and you watch an episode of AEW Dynamite, and I wonder how many times they say any of those words.
For every word that they read off that list.
That's what I'm saying. Like we should actually do this one night and like take a guess on how many times those words get popped in the show.
If that's a drinking game, then I'm concerned about driving home in the dark again.
I never said anything about drinking. I just say guessing.
We can play bingo.
All right, we'll play bingo. I wanted to ask you this, Peewee. We talked about last week. It was either last week or 2 weeks ago. The Chris Jericho versus MJF match where Audrey was the ref. What's her name?
Aubrey, yeah.
Aubrey,
yeah.
Aubrey was the ref, and she missed the Chris Jericho putting his foot on the ropes, so she counted the 3, and then the other ref came down and said like, "Get out of town." Right. I am a man and you are a woman, and this is the correct call. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about this. I feel like AEW possibly made an attempt to have this make sense.
I listened to last week's episode today while I was driving 9 hours. I totally agree with you. I'm not as against what they did last week. I wish it wasn't Aubrey, because I wish it wasn't a guy undermining a girl, no matter what it is. But yes, I must have been talking or just not paying attention last week when you said, because I didn't catch it during the pay-per-view, that the other ref was already out there. They made an excuse to have the referee go out there but they were banning somebody from ringside or helping somebody that got injured.
So Wardlow came down to interfere, and then Jake Hager came down to stop him.
Okay.
2 referees came out. One of the referees was able to push both large men to the back.
Ignore that.
While the other referee stayed on the
for
ramp.
whatever reason,
so
but he still was there.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason. Listening back to you explaining this last week, that's the only reason they had Hager and Wardlow get brought to the back to have an excuse to bring the referee out. They tried to cover their tracks. It wasn't as bad as just having a random referee, which is done in wrestling all the time. Referee in the ring makes a bad call. Referee from the back runs down to the ring from the backstage and says, "Hey, reverse this, you didn't see this." That I'm totally against 100%. What they did with Aubrey and having the referee already giving him a reason to be ringside, I still am not 100% for it, but I much better like it the way that they did it versus the alternative. But I also think there were 6 other better ways you could have done that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, we gave it too much shit last week, but it's still it's not innocent by any means.
I still hate it.
Whoosh. Let's see what else we got here. All right, let's do. I don't know if you guys have any of these. We talked about doing some least favorite wrestling catchphrases. Were you guys able to come up with any that you do not like?
This was difficult. It was a difficult homework assignment because they're catchphrases for a reason, right? And even if we hate them, they still, for the most part, almost every catchphrase got over and people were into it. So finding some that I didn't like, it was hard for me not to like any of them because most of them just made money.
And they all suck, right? Like all catchphrases.
Oh, absolutely.
Suck.
Yeah, it's most. I mean, 95% of them are horrible.
I didn't realize it until I was starting to research them that almost all catchphrases suck horribly.
It's all about the delivery and the confidence that you deliver them in, and then there's no telling what you can do with it.
So do you have any? How many do you have?
Like 4 or 5.
Tony, do you have any that grind your gears?
I got one.
All right, give us your one.
And I bet you can guess who it is.
Is it the same as
mine? Is it
mine?
one word?
No.
Is it 3 words?
It is Scott Steiner.
Oh, no.
Big Papa Pump is your hookup. Holla if you hear me. The worst
That's a good one.
Goddamn catchphrase I've ever heard in wrestling.
See, here's the thing. I feel like if you don't like Scott Steiner, you probably hate his catchphrase, right? I love Scott Steiner, so the man can do no wrong. He can be like, let's
absolve the
rape
wrongdoing.
Everybody. And I'm like, yeah.
It's hard to hate a catchphrase, but it gets over. I mean, Tony, what you're saying is exactly right. It's terrible. Like, there's no effort put into that at all.
It's awful. It's awful. His delivery is awful. Like, it was bad at the time, and it's worse thinking about it now.
For me, the worst of all time is It's Clobbering Time.
Why do you hate that so much?
First of all, the person who's saying it is stupid. Okay. Second of all, it's just stupid. It's dumb. It's clobbering.
Do you know what it is?
And then he looks at he's not even wearing a watch. Maybe if he wore a watch and it said clobbering, that's like something John Cena would do. Make it make sense. You know what
makes it worse is it's not even original. I think Putski, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think it's a thing from the Fantastic Four, like the orange guy, the thing. Yeah. His name is
exactly what it is. It's his catchphrase from the comic book.
And he stole it, and it's awful. Yes.
So you're saying CM Punk would steal something from somebody else, huh?
Ole, ole,
I'll continue. I have 2 more, and then I want to hear Peewee's list. One is anything that the Miz says. I can't stand when the Miz talks.
Most of the time he's a heel. That's the point.
No, I didn't say it doesn't work. I just don't like when he talks.
All right. He's doing his job.
That's fine. He's doing his job and he's getting me not to like him. That means I don't want to hear what he has to say. Just like you probably don't like anything MJF has to say.
All right.
And then the last one is Booker T. Shucky Ducky Quack.
That's a good one. That's
what?
I don't even have to One, I'm not making that up.
What era was that? Because I don't remember Shucky
Still
Ducky.
says it.
Yeah.
Still
Like
says it in
2018 to
pregame.
current.
Yeah. He says it in like the pregame shows that they
Every
do for all the
pregame
events
show, yeah.
when he's on the panel. He gives his Shucky Ducky quack quack pick of the week or whatever it is, and it doesn't make any sense. Okay, that's it for me. What about you, Peewee? Give me all yours.
What?
That's it.
Yeah, well, I do. Yeah,
Oh.
I do hate the what.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you two didn't come up with that one. I thought that one was the layup for everybody.
It's annoying for sure. That's got to be the most annoying because it continues to this
Right.
day. But I think at the time it
got old.
was
For
funny.
a couple months it was decent. Yeah. The Rock had some very obviously good ones. The if you smell what the Rock is cooking is ridiculous, but it makes sense, and it kind of makes sense, and the people loved it. And then the SmackDown Hotel one was also decent. One I never liked that he did was the Rudy Poo candy ass. Another ridiculous statement that he got over. Like all these, for the most part, some of these didn't get over, but for the most part, like that one specifically, he got that one over. That's probably the like number one pick for me of give me a phrase that you don't think there's any chance in hell that I can get over, and I'm gonna go out there and get every person in the crowd yelling this back at me, and he gets out there and yells Rudy Poo candy ass, and
just shows how good he is, man. I was never a Rock fan like growing up.
Yeah, same.
I didn't like to cheer for a lot of those guys, but man, looking back, he was so good. Bishop says anything Conan ever said. I agree with that 100%.
How about, do you know who said this? Your ass is grass and I'm going to smoke it?
X-Pac.
It's too long, but he would say this on like a weekly basis for like 2 months, and it never got over. It's too long, it's too bumpy, and it doesn't make a ton of sense. He's going to smoke your ass.
And he probably did smoke some ass at some point in his life.
Big ass smoker is what I hear. Yeah. Allegedly.
This one might get some hate. That's not just the coolest. That's not just the best. That's just incredible. I think the phrase is fine. I just hate that Just Incredible's name was Just Incredible.
I'm with you. I agree with any Justin.
Yeah.
Justin Sane, Justin Incredible, Justin whatever. It doesn't matter. It was I don't know. Oh, we had in our Justin asshole
Yes.
in our backyard.
I like that one the most out of all of them.
And that one doesn't even make sense. His name would have to be spelled differently. Just Ann. Unless just in asshole.
All right.
I don't know. What else do you got, Peewee? Please get me out of this asshole.
A lot of asshole talk this week. The last one I had was it's not very specific, but it's vintage blank. It's anytime Michael Cole on commentary is saying vintage Orton or vintage Undertaker or vintage Cena. When he's calling moves, he doesn't say the move. He just says vintage this guy. Vintage this guy. And I just think it's a cop-out. I don't like it.
You know, we give Michael Cole a lot of crap, but going over that list of words that he can't say, his job has to be very tough. Along with a old man like yelling in his ear.
Absolutely. I don't know how he does it.
Do you think he's got like a list of those words like right next to his monitor? Like,
is that what's on his paperwork in front of him?
9 pages
like,
of just words.
Yeah. Bishop says the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Yeah, I mean that's a good call. It is least favorite wrestling catchphrases. I just assumed that was everyone's least favorite.
Yeah, that was like the free space in the bingo card, right? Anything Bret Hart says is right.
Here's a ridiculous one. This is the last thing I have on my list. It's not. I don't necessarily hate this one, even though it is ridiculous. I just have there's a funny backstory to it. Again, Cardona, woo woo woo. You know it. Do you know where this comes from?
No, and you know what? When I got married and you were in my wedding, I was like, I'm getting this shirt for Peewee because I know he likes this guy. And when I bought that shirt, I was like, first of all, this is an awful wedding present. Second of all, like this is an awful catchphrase. And I thought it was because I didn't know like what it was. You know what I mean? Like I have no clue where it comes from. I don't know anything about it.
I didn't know where it came from until I started
one.
listening to his podcast. But for years, I had no idea what it was, other than I just figured it was right up there with like Rudy Poo Candy Ash, just random words put together that he put together and made them make sense. Woo, 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 you know it. I don't know about the you know it, other than it's just like a cocky New York thing. But the woo, woo, woo thing, it originated when he would go to clubs and he would see like douchey New York guys or like Long Island guys. And the way that these guys would get the attention of girls, they wouldn't say hi, they wouldn't introduce themselves. A girl would just walk by and the guy would go, woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. I think that's hilarious. Woo, woo, woo.
And that's why I don't like New York, apparently.
Sounds like a Jersey thing.
Yeah, right. That's
right.
exactly what it was. Right. That's crazy. That's insane. Those people are animals.
Well, speaking of a New York, New Jersey thing, 9/11 happened 20 years ago last week, and so last Friday on SmackDown they had the 20-year anniversary. They were kind of remembering 9/11, and Zelina Vega, who is in the WWE. Peewee, do you know where I'm headed with this?
I don't care, but
I do. Zelina Vega, who was fired for making comments before, she wanted to start unions. I don't know if she had like an OnlyFans or a Twitch or something, and she was like, I'm not going to stop doing it. They let her go. They fired her. She came back to she had to apologize, and she wanted to work. Her husband was there. Then they fired her husband. So now she's back without her husband. This past week, obviously during the 9/11 stuff, she had a tag team match scheduled. She had gear made because her dad passed away in the 9/11 attacks. And so she spoke earlier in the day for something.
Yeah, she was reading off names of those that passed.
Yeah, remembrance and all that stuff. Scheduled to wrestle in a tag match. They cut her for time. Right. The WWE.
I don't have a problem with that.
Listen, I know that they have a company to run and stuff like that.
They have a multi-billion-dollar company to run. They can't just make TV time for somebody just because. And I'm not downplaying the importance of her father in her life or any of that stuff. But you can't. No. It's not like if it was on the if it was the SmackDown right after 9/11 and her dad died and she was part of the roster and she wanted to wrestle then and you don't let her wrestle on that show. Yes, I think that's a problem. The 20-year anniversary. So you have to let Zelina Vega wrestle on every SmackDown on every 9/11 just because she wants to, just because her dad passed on 9/11? What about on the anniversaries of other people's?
The story has relevance on 9/11.
Yes, but that doesn't mean it has a place on the show. If they don't,
don't you think? Look at the rest of the show. Next week we will spend the entire show going over the card of SmackDown, and we will see. Was there anything that could have been cut besides this thing to remember 9/11? Your show was about remembering 9/11. That's what the whole show was. Like the 20-year. Oh yeah, we were the first company to come back.
So why
after
do you think
9/11
they didn't put her on
a live show?
Just to be dicks?
I don't know. I just think it's what's the tone deaf? Is that the right word?
Sure. Okay.
From a company who is just firing people left and right. Morale is the lowest it's ever been while they're making the most money they've ever made. They got $1 billion Peacock deal. They got $1 billion Fox deal. They have Saudi Arabian money, which is ridiculous money coming in.
The internet made a huge deal about this, and we don't know enough about it. We don't know enough to make a big deal about this. Maybe she was very emotional backstage, and the powers that be didn't think that she could hold it together for the match, or they didn't want to put a sobbing girl in the middle of the ring. You know what I mean? There's no telling how she would have acted. There's no telling what the reasons were for keeping her off. I don't think... Yes, this company does some terrible, terrible things at some point. I think they have a Saudi show coming up. But with this specifically, I think there was some reason that they didn't put her out there, or they just didn't have a reason to put her out there because it wasn't a money-making opportunity.
I don't know, man. I think if you're talking 9/11... it's the closest way to possibly hit home. You know what I mean?
And maybe
someone who lost someone in 9/11 is on your roster.
I get it.
And is on that show. It's not like she's on Raw.
And maybe they don't want to hit it that hard.
All right. I completely disagree with you, and I think it's just a tone-deaf move by a tone-deaf company who's losing a bunch of people now because people are like, there's nothing here. It's cold. It's just straight business, and it's headed into a way where they're just going to sell it. They're going to make their money. They already have. They're going to make more when they sell it, but this thing is like, it's not heading in a good direction.
I totally agree with that. I'm not saying it was the completely right move. I'm just saying they probably justified it somehow and then kept her off.
It's just, yeah.
There's
weird.
too much information out there that we don't know, that we shouldn't be making judgments on it.
All I'm saying, I'm going to subscribe to her OnlyFans, and then I'm going to ask her a question, and we're doing it for science, okay? All right, we got one email this week. Actually, we got two from Hattori Hanzo. One was about the guy from Police Academy who died, and then the other one was a 12-minute video of these guys who were, they made a funny video kind of like impersonating Terry Funk coming up with stipulations for a match. It's a 12-minute long video, and I'm just going to tweet it out. It's too long. Maybe I'll play some after the show. But we do have a special sound clip I wanted to play for our dear friend Turtle, who doesn't listen to the show.
Great.
But I just thought it was a funny sound clip. Anyway, that's it for the show. We did it. Under an hour, fellas. I think. We'll see. Anyway, next week on the show, Vince Theater. Maybe we'll get to it. Maybe I'll do the editing. I don't know. All right? It's been 3 weeks already. We'll see. What's making me bitter this week? Tony D'Angelo, an Italian from Chicago who used to work in waste management and is the new NXT wrestler debuting soon. NXT 2.0 started today. They're starting, in a new direction. And that new direction is Tony D'Angelo from Chicago, the Italian who used to be in waste management. Producer Tony, what's making you bitter?
A world without Norm Macdonald in it. Like, as we get older, like when people die, it kind of like, you don't think of it that much. But like every now and again, there's like an artist or a celebrity who like, when you hear that they pass, it's like, no, that can't happen. Like, this happened to me today with Norm Macdonald. And, it's just one of those things where it's like, holy shit, this sucks. Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald.
Peewee, what's making you bitter this week?
Real American, Sexy Boy, Voodoo Child, Ultimate Warriors theme. Amazing, amazing songs. Then we have the graduation song. How is that possible? You have one of the greatest wrestlers of all time in Macho Man Randy Savage. And I don't feel like this is ever talked about. His fucking theme was the graduation song. That's unbelievable. It came on the radio. I was driving through the middle of nowhere, Iowa today, and I'm flipping through the radio trying to find a station. And I find one that's playing like classical music, and then the graduation song comes on. I don't pop or anything because there's no big thing in the beginning to get you excited for Macho Man's theme. One of my favorite wrestlers, one of the only wrestlers you can still stand behind because he hasn't said anything that has gotten him in trouble. And there's nothing musically that you can get behind. I don't understand it. I don't see why more people don't talk about this.
New episodes of this podcast drop every Friday morning in audio form at bittermarks.com or Tuesday nights in video form on YouTube. Join us while we record in the YouTube chat Tuesday nights live at 9:05. That's p.m. and that's Central Standard Time. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at bittermarks. Email us at bittermarks@gmail.com. And last but not least, buy our shirts, including our new shirts, at prowrestlingtees.com/bittermarkscom. That's COM. As in, make sure you watch this week's episode of Dark Side of the Ring. The new season is starting, and the first episode is the plane ride from hell.
Hell yeah.
Peewee, producer Tony, Smooth Babies in the YouTube chat. We'll see you guys next week.
Lashley's first name is Bob.
Bye.